This project is in danger of failure. He wastes time on obsolete miniatures.
Let him paint.
The schedule is compromised. The build is delayed. This is unacceptable.
You see only the pace. I see the pattern. The flow must continue. There is more at stake here than anyone realizes.
This is what it looks like right before something begins. A mess of sprues, half-painted projects, primered rocks, dwarf waiting to be painted. It's not a studio, it's not planned, but it's mine. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Okay, it is time to finish this bad boy up. We've done way too much video on this, but I felt it was an important part of my build, and you'll see why. Hopefully soon, I promise. But again, I did want to mention Retributor Gold is your best option for a really good gold color for something like this. And again, I'm going to shortcut through this and speed up the film a little bit, and so we'll and maybe kind of cut some of this out to kind of speed this up, because I can tell this is when I lose most of you when you're watching the video on this. And again, I know I'm not doing a strict paint tutorial, and I know there's a niche for that, but again, as I said last week, there are those that are better at it than I am. And one of the things I want to emphasize this week is just finding your pattern. I want to, again, I just can't help but try to encourage people to pick up a hobby like this. It will do you a world of good, I promise. Here's some Agrax to kind of darken it, make it look oily a little bit. And so, but as I said, and I hear my friends say it, I hear people say, it's like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. Yeah, you can. I mean, again, as I said, 30 years ago, I had played this hobby. I put it down and did not get back into it, except that I got co-opted into doing a miniatures painting thing at school. And I had to dust off the brain cells, go looking for some new paints, and basically fell in love with the new miniatures and thought, you know what, I'm going to play with some of these new models that they have, and I did, and I'll talk more about that here in a second. Here I'm throwing some Rhinox, or no, this is actually a dark dryad bark into some of this for the wood, and I'll highlight in a minute with some tan colors. But again, I just want to encourage people to just start doing this. I mean, I picked it up and I was surprised how much it came back. Plus, reality is, YouTube is your friend. And so I hesitated about trying to do strict tutorials because, again, there's so many good ones out there. And if you're looking, I just don't know how to start. There are tons of videos on how to get the right brushes, how to dry brush, how to clean your brushes, how to do all of that stuff. And I didn't figure that's a waste of your time for me to do that. Oh yes, the great glove event here. Okay, I'm using basically a Mornfang brown here on this, and I'm going to be honest with you, there's several things about this miniature at this stage of it I didn't like. I was unhappy with. The beard's not wide enough. There wasn't enough contrast in the armor. And then when all is said and done with this, with these gloves, and when I finally got the axe attached, I had forgotten about the joys of pewter and epoxy. That took me forever, but I finally got it on there, kinda. But I didn't like the gloves. It was too dark. It wasn't enough varied colors and stuff. And so this is the point I want to say something. You know what? Change whatever you see. I was following some pictures here, but at the end of the day, I finally decided, you know what? I got to make it mine. So here I went back in here with some Black Templar to kind of make some contrast on some of the things that were on the miniature for his boots. Okay. Let me make a quick commercial for what I mean about make the miniature your own. Now again, when I jumped back into this hobby, like an idiot, I jumped in at the top. Already had a Skaven army, so I thought, well, here's a miniature I've never had before. So I bought this model, and it was pricey. And once I got it home, I thought, oh no, I may be in over my head. But again, YouTube is your friend. I followed people like War Hipster, Sir Paints a Lot, The Painting Coach, some channel by the name of Raffle J Mart. I even found a Spanish channel called Nearest Workshop, I think. And I took each from them and said, oh, I like that, and I don't like that. Oh, I think I like the way he did it better than the other one. And I mixed and matched. And I made mistakes. There were times I tried something and it didn't work. And fortunately, paint is forgiving. You can always paint over it. And is this perfect? No. And again, I apologize for the rough camera. But you know what? You just keep going. It took me 3 months to do this. And you know what? It turned out good. And it gave me confidence to change the bases and do what I wanted to do. Like adding tufts of grass and different types of terrain and rock on the base itself. Okay, commercial over. And so let me get back into here, making these horns white, and I'll add some skeletal wash to them to make them kind of dark, like natural bone, things of that nature. And kind of play with that. And overall, it's a question of just watching others, learning what they do, learning their techniques. And there's several different types of techniques out there, and you find the one that works for you. I mean, I know I did a lot of things, experimented with some things that didn't work, and I was like, well, okay, I'm not good at that. And so it's just a question of kind of finding what you are good at it. And I guarantee it, I don't care what you think, there's a style out there that you will be good at. So I want to encourage you, pick up a brush, pick up some paints. You don't have to buy Games Workshop. There's D&D miniatures. There's different types of acrylic paints out there that you can get. Again, I use the Citadel stuff. There's the Army Painter paints that they say are pretty good. I'm just kind of wedded to these just because I am. That may change in my future, but we'll see. But learning everything from dry brushing to highlighting to learning how to use shades and contrast colors, and some of these some of these channels, man, they use the contrast just like a base paint, and it works. Sometimes it didn't work well for me, but other times it worked really well, and I'm going to show you some of that as I get into painting the trees for the grove. So I think one of the things I want to do as I close this video out is kind of talk about the style I found that kind of works best for me, and I'm still kind of perfecting it. And that's when we talk about this cloak here. Because I started, here I'm still highlighting the tabard, and this is the green I want to change the gloves to give it the miniature some color head on. So, and then the gems on there. I found Citadel has these things called technicals, and I found this Blood for the Blood God technical that gives a really nice dark red for gems. And so, you just kind of, and you experiment and you find things. Now, for this cloak, I'll put highlights on the tabard here. And that's just along the edge, because the edge makes it look like it's highlighted. Now this cloak, I started, I think, with some corn red here and just kind of put a base coat on this. And, in the old days, you had what they called inks and washes, and you just slapped it on there. And sometimes it was hit or miss. What you got, because sometimes it would pool wrong because it was just like liquid paint, and some of these they're all liquids, I know, but it just sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And so I've been experimenting and learning how to do to layer up. And I know for some of you experts out here, they're like, "Oh, big deal, Todd." But again, I just kind of want to illustrate how somebody with my low skills, or I'll say low. I mean, that sounds falsely modest. For my average skills, this stuff. Here's some Drushi purple that I put on. This is called a shade color, and I put it in there. And I just kind of washed it all over to get it dark and stuff. But you want to kind of keep brushing it and to keep it from glopping and pooling in the wrong places. Then I took some Mephistian red and did I didn't dry brush it, but kind of ran it along the high edges. And you can see here how there's just such a sharp contrast between that dark color and that brighter red color. And so, because I would see these guys do that, and I think, this doesn't look real to me. And so, but then I learned what you got to do is then layer between. And some people do this in different orders, but it's like, I kind of looked to see how it would look first, and I realized, yeah, it's too sharp of a contrast. So, what I did is then I took the next level with my, I think it was the Evil Sons, I took some of that, the corn, and mixed it together. So the base coat and that one, and then just kind of lightly brushed it in between, carefully, so I don't want to cover up the darker, but kind of narrow the darkness a little bit along the edges, and see how it kind of maybe looks a little bit more natural. And then, it covers up the broad Drushi purple in there. Then my highlight color was going to be the Evil Sun's Scarlet. But what I did then is I did some of that, and then mixed in with the again with that other base, and then I kind of did a broader highlight of stuff to kind of move from some of these to the highest high points of the miniature, if that makes sense. And then after that, I went ahead and just used some plain for just the very tips and the edges to kind of bring that out. And that pretty much wraps it up. I'll do the repaint off camera and then show you the final product. I went ahead and just took some stills here because my video camera isn't good for these close-up shots. It's not a high quality one. But yeah, here he goes, ready to place.
They say he once bore a name, but it was buried with the first stone of Barak-Karandul. When the mountain was young, he watched over it, not as king or priest, but as its memory made flesh. The axe he bears was never forged. It was found fully formed in the heart of the oldest cavern. Now he waits. He does not speak. He does not move. But still, he watches. In the shadow of the grove, in the silence of stone, he stands sentinel over something not yet revealed. Some say he returns when the roots remember. Others say he never left.